Krishna
Hare
Ram
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 Hare Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna
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 Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare
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 Hare Hare Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Ram Ram
Hare
Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Ram Ram Hare Hare
श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So today is Saturday. It is 31st of August. It is Bhadra Masa or Hrishikesha Masa, Krishna Paksham, and Trayodasi Tithi. So there are no Vaishnava events, but there is one event. It is mentioned in the ISKCON calendar. It is Parishana. So Parishana is a kind of a Jain's festival. Um, So Jain festival, so the day where everyone they ask for the forgiveness from each other, all the family members and everyone, so that they will be free from all kinds of uh, sinful activities they have committed throughout the year. So this is part of the Jain festival. So either through the mind, through the words, or through the actions, if one has committed such kind of knowingly or unknowingly, it is a tradition that they speak to each other. So the keywords or the words they mention to represent is Uttamakshama or uh, Michami Dukkadam. Michami Dukkadam. So if I have done any mistakes or offenses towards you, so kindly forgive me. So this is the uh, requesting for forgiveness from everyone. It is a beautiful thing, but it is from the Jain tradition. But Jain is also part of it has coming from the it is coming from the Rishabhadev, but Sukadeva Goswami said that Jain Dharma is atheistic philosophy because they do not take Krishna's worship for it. So they do not believe the creator. So though Rishabhadeva is the supreme personality of Godhead and he explained everything, all the knowledge to the Bharat and all his and the children. So Sukadeva Goswami mentions that it is because there is a king who is mm, his name is Arhat. So who is the king of the Konka Venka Kutaka. So when Rishabhadev was winding up his pastimes, this king Arhat he was observing the Rishabhadev, and then after that he imitated the activities of the Rishabhadeva. So here Sukadeva Goswami mentions whatever the Arhat has followed and established, it is the atheistic philosophy. So here he mentions that, and then later on Sukadeva Goswami mentions that one has to follow the Vedic tradition. So this is the it is the bewildering energy of. So here, if we see taking the advantage of Kali Yuga, the age of sinful activity, King Arhat, being bewildered, gave up the Vedic principles which are free from risk and concocted a new system of religion opposite to the Vedas. That was the beginning of the Jain Dharma. Many other so-called religions followed this atheistic system. So this is coming from Sukadeva Goswami from the Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is about the atheistic philosophy, how people deviate from the Vedic Dharma, Vedic authority. This is the bewildering energy of the Lord. So that is from, but Parishana, it is a good thing. As part of the Vaishnavas, we did not commit any mistakes knowingly, but unknowingly, if one has done any mistakes, it is a good thing to reflect oneself, to ask for forgiveness from each and everyone. So I also request the devotees just to reach out to the devotees or your families and family members. It's a kind of a festival. It is a celebration to asking for the forgiveness. It is a very beautiful part. But Vaishnavas doesn't need separate thing. Yes, Sarvatmanaha Saranyam Gato Mukundam Parihutya Kattum Deva Rushi Apta Bandhuvanam Pitrunam Nakinkaro Nayam Rinicha Rajan. Yes, Sarvatmanaha Saranam Saranyam Gato Mukundam Parihutya Kattum. So this is the uh, one is not uh, indebted to the demigods, rishis, and bhotas, relatives, pitrus, and all these five categories of the living entities who are always engaging in the Nakinkaro, Nayam Runicharajan, Nayam Runicharajan. He is not indebted to all these people. Nakinkaro, he is not servant of all of these things anymore. Because, yes, Sarvatmanaha Saranam Saranyam, Gato Mukundam Parihutya Kattam. He has already surrendered. So here, and also when we are asking for forgiveness, it is Guhasayaiva Nadeha Mane, not asking the body, but we are asking forgiveness from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's why when we are doing Pratyudhama Prashranava Abhivadanam, Vidiyate Sadhu Mitaha Sumadhyame, Lord Shankara says to Mother Parvati, um, Pranyai Purush, Pranyai Purushai. uh, So he says that one has to see only the super soul existing in all the living entities. Guhaseva na dehamani pradhnei parasmai purushaya chedasa guhaseva na dehamanini. Just only the super soul is existing in the all the living entities, heart of all the living entities. One has to ask for forgiveness from all kind. That's why um, he is always Pranamed Bahumanayan. He worship all the living entities. He gives so much of respect to all the living entities. Ishvaro Jiva Kalaya Bhagavan Pravishto Idi. So these are the statements of the Srimad Bhagavatam Shastras. One has to ask for forgiveness and also see in the equal vision and see the Lord in the heart of all the living entities. So this is kind of a Paryushana festival. It is mentioned in the ISKCON calendar. So that's just bringing few words from the Bhagavatam. That is from the events perspective. So we shall quickly move into Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, so Lord Brahma speaking to Narada Muni and explaining different incarnations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So yesterday we have been, he started speaking about the Lord's appearance for the Gajendra. So after explaining about the um, Narsimha Avatara, he is coming and explaining about the when the Lord appeared to Gajendra. So Gajendra, when he was in so much of distress, because Antaha Sarasi Gurubalena Pade Gruhito in the pond, Antaha Sarasi Gurubalena Pade Gruhito with a great strength, that crocodile, it has got the Pade Gruhito Grahen Yotapatihi, it caught the leg of a Gajendra, Yutapatihi. At that time, Ambujahasta Ataha. It takes the lotus flower with its tongue, Ataha, in so much of distress, Aha idam, and it has spoke few words. The five words are there. Adi Purusha, Akira Lokanada, Tidrashrabaha, Shravana Mangala, Namadeya. Very beautiful words. One has to call with these names in the distress. This is Adi Purusha, Akila Lokanada, Tidrashravaha, Shravanamangala, Namadheya. So likewise, it was calling the Lord. And then Brahma is saying today that after hearing these words, Gajendra in so much of distress, calling without um, without any hesitation, he is calling very deep, so intense. At that time, the Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So though he is in the Vaikunta planet, hearing the distress of Gajendra immediately. So knowing that Gajendra need my help, and then took his Sudarshana wheel And then sitting on the Garuda, he has appeared in front of in front of Gajendra, and taking his Sudarshana will immediately cut the head of the crocodile. Immediately cut the head of the crocodile. After that, after separating the head of crocodile from its body, and then he took the elephant and then delivered from its distress. With his hand, he took the elephant and kept it aside, kept on the shore, and then later on, the Lord delivered the elephant. Likewise, Brahma is saying to Narada Muni. So we are in the Srimad Bhagavatam, second canto, chapter 7, verse number 16. श्रुत्वा हरिहितम् अर्णार्दिनम् अप्रमेयम् चक्रायुधः पतगराज भुज अधिरूढः चक्रेण नक्रवदनं विनिपात्य तस्मात् हस्ते प्रगृह्य भगवान् कृपया उज्जहारम् श्रुत्वा हरिः. So Shrutva Harihi, and whenever the Gajendra called the Lord, Adi Purusha Achilaloga Tidrisravha Shravana Mangala Namadheya, immediately the Lord responds. There are so many demigods as well, and they are thinking that these are not our names, and then they are not responding. But who responded immediately? Harihi. Shrutva Harihi. Tam Arunadhinam. Tam Aranadhinam. So here Arana Ardhinam, one who is in the need of help. So hearing the Gajendra, Tam Aranadhinam Apremeyam, the ultimately powerful, unlimitedly powerful Lord, Apremeyaha. Though he is in the Vaikunta planets, so he is hearing the prayers of Gajendra. Apremeyaha. Chakrayudah Patagaraja Bhujadirodaha. Chakrayudah, and having this equipped with the Sudarshana Chakra. Chakrayudah Patagaraja. Patagaraja is the Garuda. Pataga is the king of the birds, is the Garuda. Patagaraja Bhujadirodaha. Bhuja Adirodaha. He is being seated on the Garuda, sitting on the wings of Garuda. So Bhuja Adirodaha. So on his shoulders, the Lord sits on the shoulders of the Garuda. Chakrayudah Patagaraja Bhujajirudaha. Chakrena Nakravadanam Vinipatya Tasmad. And Chakrena, by his Sudarshana wheel, Nakravadanam, the mouth of the crocodile, Vinipatya Tasmad. And from the body of the crocodile, he separated he separated the crocodile into two parts. Vinipatya is cutting into two with his Sudarshan chakra. Um, he separated the head of the crocodile. Chakrena Nakkaravadanam Vinipatya Tasman Haste Pragruhya. Haste, by in the hands, Pragruhya, taking hold of the trunk of the elephant. Haste Pragruhya Bhagavan Krupaya, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Bhagavan Krupaya, out of causeless mercy, Ujjahara delivered him. So beautifully. So Gajendra got an opportunity that he has received the touch of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So in previous life, he was the Indrajumna. He was meditating on the Lord. So now here, though he got the elephant body, the Lord has personally come to rescue him, and he touched him. Haste pragruhya Bhagavan Krupaya Ujjahara. Krupaya Ujjahara delivered him. So this is the Gajendra's. So Srutva Harihitam Arnadhinam Apremeyam Chakrayudah Patagaraja Bhujadirodaha Chakrenan Nakaravadanam Vinipatya Tasmad Haste Pragruhya Bhagavan Krupaya Ujjahara. So translation for this verse. The personality of Godhead, after hearing the elephant's plea, felt that the elephant needed his immediate help, for he was in great distress. Thus, at once the Lord appeared there on the wings of the king of birds, Garuda, fully equipped with his weapon. The wheel chakra with the wheel, he cut to pieces the mouth of the crocodile to save the elephant, and he delivered the elephant by lifting him by his trunk. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Can I request Asha Mataji, would you like to read the purport, please?
The Lord resides in his Vaikunta planet. No one can estimate how far away this planet is situated. It is said, however, that anyone trying to reach that planet by airships or by any mine ships traveling for millions of years will find it still unknown. Modern scientists have invented airships which are material, and the yogis make a still finer material attempt to travel by mine ships. The yogis can reach any distant place very quickly with the help of mine ships. But neither the airship nor the mine ship has access to the kingdom of Godhead in the Vaikunta Loka, situated far beyond the material sky. Since this is the situation, how was it possible for the prayers of the elephant to be heard from such an unlimitedly distant place? And how could the Lord at once appear on the spot? These things cannot be calculated by a human imagination. All this was possible by the unlimited power of the Lord, and therefore the Lord is described here as
Aprameya.
Abrahamian. For not even the best human brain can estimate his powers and his potencies by mathematical calculation. The Lord can hear from such a distant place. He can eat from there, and he can appear simultaneously in all places of a moment's notice. Such is the uh, omnipotency of the Lord.
Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you so much, Mataji. So here the Prabhupada is explaining in this purport that the Lord resides in his Vaikunta planet, and there are so many people that are trying to reach to different planetary systems, but Vaikunta is very, very far on top of all the material planets. So we cannot reach by the airships or by the mine ships. Why mine ship is even Pantastu Koti Satavachara Sampragamyo Vayoratapi Manaso Munipungavanan. Vayorata api Vayorata, the chariot of Vayorata api Manaso, and the mind. Muni Pungavanam Pantastu Koti Chatavachara Sampragamyo, Koti Chatavachara Sampragamyo, Vayorata api Manaso Muni Pungavanam. Sopyastyat Prapadasini Avichinchatve Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Even the sages, they travel on the mind with their mind for so many years. This is mentioned Koti Satavachara Sampragamyo. But still it is very difficult to reach that supreme personality of Godhead. So he cannot be understood by Vedeshu Durlabham Adhullabham Atma Bhaktau. He is very easily available for his devotees, and not by the Vedas, not by the mental speculators. So likewise, our scriptures mentioned. So Prabhupada here mentioning what to speak of anything material. Material, we got material body, we can walk, and then if we take a bicycle, we can go for a little bit distance more, couple of miles. And if we take a motorbike, we go further, and then car, maybe hundreds of kilometers, maybe train and airplane. But these are very, very within this our limits. There is a limited scope for all these material things. And the mind, it has got more powerful, it can travel further. Even going for this is Koti Satavatara, millions and millions of years. If they travel, still it is not possible. But this is what everyone are trying to meditate inwards. So our body is a vehicle. It is not by using the legs to move, but we have to connect the Lord through our process, spiritual progress. This is yoga. It is called the yoga ladder. Giving our the soul, the super soul is always in the heart. He is everywhere. He is all pervading supreme personality of Godhead. And we have to surrender unto him. And then once we are surrender ourselves unto the Lord, he will take us. We do not have personal capacity to go to any planets. The Lord will take us. But Munis, the yogis who are using their strength going from one planet to the other planet by their yogic power. So Prabhupada gives the analogy of the cat and a monkey. So baby monkey and mother monkey, baby cat and mother cat. Baby monkey, it has to hold its mother by its own strength. If the mother monkey is jumping from one tree to another tree, if there is a chance that baby monkey may fall down and die. But whereas the baby cat, it is held by the mother cat by the mouth, and it carefully takes the kitten from one place to another place. So there is here mother strength is more stronger than the baby strength. So here Prabhupada gave that analogies that what is the power of yogis and what is the power of the situation of the devotees. Devotees are like a kitten. The Lord will take them personally. And whereas the yogis, they will go by their strength. The Sukadeva Goswami explains one has to go through the meditation, cleansing himself by putting himself in so many postures and then meditate on the Lord for a very long period. Sanchintayet Bhagavato Charanarvindam. For a long period, he has to meditate by his strength. And then finally, he will also come to the devotional service at the end. So, but for us devotees, it is very easy from the beginning. We always engage in the devotional service. So here Prabhupada is explaining that it is not possible for the modern scientists to reach to the higher planet systems. And here that's why Lord, he can hear and explaining Vaikunta planet situated far beyond the material sky. Since this is the situation, how was it possible for the prayers of the elephant to be heard from such an unlimitedly distant place? How could the Lord at once appear on the spot? So these questions, so it will make us to think again, to reflect. So this thing cannot be calculated by human imagination. All this was possible by the unlimited power of the Lord. That's why he is called Aprameya, who is the unlimitedly powerful. For not even the best human brain can estimate his powers and potencies by mathematical calculation. He can hear from any place and he can Angani yasya sakalendriya buddhanti पश्यन्ति पान्ति कलयन्ति चिरं जगन्ति आनन्दचिन्मय सदुज्ज्वल विग्रहस्य गोविन्दम् आदिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि. So he can eat from there and he can appear simultaneously in all places at a moment's notice. This is the omnipotency of the Lord. All his senses work all actions. So this is the potency of the Lord. So this is how the Lord has appeared to Gajendra. So this is the Gajendra's pastime. So the picture is depicting here. So he cut the head of the crocodile and then personally lift that. So this is Gajendra. There is one more that Gajendra pastime picture. So where the Lord separates and then he personally rescues. So here, for example, this particular one, this picture, it seems it is the YouTube. So here the Lord is taking here, this is called Haste Pragruhya. By his hand, he lifted the elephant and he cut the throat of the crocodile. So here, this is another picture. He cut the throat here and he lifted, put back. And if we see here, this is who is the Gandharva here. This is the Indrajumna, who is in the elephant body. Gandharva is in the crocodile body. So the Lord is here, and all other demigods also, and some of the demigods, they are in the sky. They're watching the situation. So this is how the Lord can hear any place and come and rescue his devotee. Okay, so that is from Srimad Bhagavatam. Likewise, Brahma is saying that how the Lord has appeared to Gajendra when he was in distress. Shrutva harihitam aranadhinam apremeyam chakrayudah patagaraja bhujadirudaham चक्रेण नक्रवदनं विनिपात्य तस्मात् हस्ते प्रगृह्य भगवान कृपया उज्जहार. So that way the Lord has delivered Gajendra. That is from Srimad Bhagavatam. We shall quickly move to Srila Prabhupada's daily letter. So today it is letter to Brahmananda, April 5th, 1970, Los Angeles. Can I request any devotees to read this letter, please? Small letter.
Hare Krishna Prabhupada.
Yes, Mataji, please.
My dear Brahmananda, please accept my blessings. When I was going to Europe via New York, I asked you to pick up some file, Vrindavan, Radha Damodara temple, and you picked it. I told you that this file is very important and keep it carefully. I am not finding this file with the consignment of books. Please try to find out where is that file. It is very important. Hope this will meet you in good health. Your ever well wisher, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. P.S. Please send immediately 1 or 2 sample copies of BTG to the following address. She is a prospective customer. Srimati Hemanta Kumari Chaudhurani. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. So this is address only. Sending these magazines to the Srimati Hemanta Kumari Chaudhary. Okay, so if there are not many points here, maybe we can read another letter. Saranya Mataji, would you like to continue?
Letter to Pradyumna, April 5th, 1970, Los Angeles. My dear Pradyumna, please accept my blessings. I beg to acknowledge receipt of your letter dated 31st March 1970, and in the meantime, I have received one small tape record. Your teaching of Sanskrit pronunciation has been very much successful. I was just thinking of teaching our students the pronunciation of Sanskrit verses in Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, etc. And by Krishna's will, you have already begun this. It will be a great help for me if the students are taught to pronounce in Sanskrit vibration. It will be another effect of transcendental sound vibration. But we should always remember that our aim is spiritual realization. So in such classes, in the beginning, there must be kirtana, and at the end also there must be kirtana. And they should not only pronounce the verses, but they should also understand the meaning and purport of each verse. Then it will be a grand success. If possible, you can make another complete tape for use in other centers. You should make several copies, and perhaps Dinesh can help you in this connection. Then distribute these specimen tapes to all centers, and they may be asked for the charges. About word endings, when we speak about Shabdaruba, it is just like Shabdaruba in Gunin or Swamin. But when we actually articulate, we speak the nominative form. In the place of Gunin, we speak Guni, nominative form. So the nominative part of speech is used when we articulate, not the Pratipadika. That is usage. Similarly, in the matter of Atman, we should speak Atma. So I do not know what the scholars in this place want to have. You can make your own discrimination. Do you think you shall require all these books? Of course, I have no objection if you keep these as reference books, But we should always remember that we have to give more stress on our spiritual side than the scholastic side. But at the same time, if our books are presented in scholarly way, that will be very nice. So you use the best part of discretion and do the needful. So far, grammar is concerned, one has to learn Sanskrit grammar for at least 12 years. Then he become an expert grammarian. In India, those who are Sanskrit scholars studied in the beginning from 5 to 15 years. That is for 10 years continually, and they study grammar thoroughly. When one is expert in grammatical ruling and formation, that is to say, Shabda, Dhatu, Shanti, Samskara, Prakaram, Vithan, Pratyaya, Adhikarana. After this, they study Nyaya. In this way, when one is expert in 10 to 12 years, and that is by the age of 17th year, a student become very much expert, and any departmental knowledge he can master in 1 to 2 years. But you need not become such a scholar. You require simply to understand Shastras, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, etc., and chant Hare Krishna as much as possible. The things the thing is, if you give more stress on scholarly line, other devotees will try to imitate you. Already your wife has expressed such intention. And as soon as we try to be scholars, our devotional line will be slackened. These points are to be kept in view always. Yes, I was missing the 2 volumes of Srimad Bhagavatam of cantos 3, 7, 8, 9. So keep them with you as reference or conveniently send them here. I think in the very near future, you will be required to move from center to center to teach this verse vibration. So, in each center, by hearing your tapes and by your personal presence, they will become very expert in pronouncing the Sanskrit verses. Regarding your last point, that you shall try to learn the various literatures very carefully and present everywhere in classes and books, that is very good. This is a nice idea, and if you can do it, it is great service, and Krishna will bless you. I'm sure you will be successful in this attempt. But don't forget to chant 16 rounds regularly, then you will get spiritual strength more and more. I do not know much about Mukunda Dasa, but I think Jiva Goswami did commendation on Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, and that is accepted by my Guru Maharaja. Hope this will meet you in good health. Your ever well-wisher, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai. Thank you, Mataji. Any takeaway points, Mataji?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Yes, throughout the letter, Prabhupada is emphasizing the importance of pronouncing the Sanskrit verses in a scholarly way. At the same time, Prabhupada was mentioning the essence, or the intention should not be changed. Like this devotee Pradyumna Prabhu was at, I think he was recording some tapes about the Sanskrit pronunciation of verses, and Prabhupada was very much appreciating that, and Prabhupada was asking him to produce more and more tapes and circulate to the other centers and collect charges for that. So because it is important, Prabhupada will be very much happy if the disciples and the devotees there pronounce the verses correctly. That is very important, because this is a transcendental sound vibration, so it is important if we do it properly. But at the same time, Prabhupada was also emphasizing that devotees should not imitate you to be like a scholar or to be like a Sanskrit scholar. The essence is like this: we should give more emphasis to the spiritual content than to be scholars. But if it is produced or presented in a scholar way, the scholars, Sanskrit scholars, or the other branch or other sectors who is very thorough with the Sanskrit pronunciation, they will also find it very authentic. So it is important to present it in the same way, but more emphasis should be given on the content, the purport and translation. So that is also important. So Prabhupada was requesting these devotees to take both in a parallel way. And Prabhupada was discussing about the how there's like 12 years a person, at least 12 years a person has to learn Sanskrit grammar, then only they can be very successful in learning the grammar things. And Prabhupada was mentioning it is not mandatory that you do this much things, but still give importance to the devotional line, and but do this also. And the technical things I don't understand, Prabhu, the Sanskrit grammar and all. But yes, Prabhupada was happy that if devotees pronounce the verses correctly and giving importance to the purports also. So Prabhupada want both to be taken in a parallel way. So that is my understanding, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. Very nicely summarized. It's a long letter and stressing. So Pradyumna, who was translating Prabhupada's, all the verses into giving meanings and translations to the verses. So at that time, Pradyumna Prabhu was asking Srila Prabhupada. Okay, so that is a very great work that Pradyumna Prabhu was contributing to Srimad Bhagavatam and the scriptures. And meanwhile, so he has got these questions about some technical things. Even I am not aware of all these things. I have not heard about this. This is Gunin or Swam, something like the Shabdarupa. Okay, but anyway, so here Prabhupada is asking us to learn as much as possible in Sanskrit, but that is not the primary. So devotional service to the Krishna, that is very important. Okay, that is, otherwise it takes so many years to learn and to be scholarly. By the time our ways are already set, so we have to give the stress for the devotional service. We are running out of the time. Everyone are suffering with so much of distresses. No one knows how long one can live. So we need to be situated on the devotional service. Thank you so much, Mataji. Any other points, dear devotees, you wanted to add? Okay, so that is from Srila Prabhupada's letter. And from the announcements point of view, so today evening we have got our regular Bhagavad Gita Sangha at 7 p.m. And also there were some events going on yesterday in the Bhaktivedanta Mana temple. I request the devotees, if you wanted to share any updates on Krishna consciousness, kindly share. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, nice class from Anand Prabhuji came from America. It was really nice about Hare Krishna. Sorry, you can hear me?
Yes, Mataji, yes, we can hear it, but if a bit louder, please, Mataji.
Yeah, I'm just saying there was a class yesterday. America Prabhuji. It was really nice about the Vrindavan and Braj Leela about it. So nicely he just gave class. So yeah, today also and tomorrow there's 3 days.
For 3 days, Mataji.
Yeah.
They are very beautiful. So then Srestha Mataji has shared the link in the WhatsApp group.
Mm.
Yes, it is very beautiful. I have been hearing Amrendra Prabhuji's lecture. So,
Yeah, and on one day they were specially arranged for the volunteer who will help in Jalmastami. So I think everybody get the email like who are helping in Jalmastami to register for attend his class. Like on this course on Monday. As well, there is one more class.
thank you so much, Mataji. Any other updates, dear devotees, you wanted to share?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, everyone. Yesterday, Dina Shrestha Mataji, she has shared the link in YouTube, the whole program lecture of Arvind Prabhu. So I was listening to it last night.
Yes, it is so beautiful. I have even me too, Mataji.
Yeah.
You wanted to just mention any highlighted points from the lecture? Okay,
Mm,
point.
It was like, how you love, like Krishna loved the cow, and Krishna also like, chanting cow name, like 108 beats, and like, all different colors cows has different names, and and it's just so nicely, heard about like how Krishna loved towards the cows and all this. And yeah, it was so nice.
Very nice. Yeah, Amarin, so I was also very inspiring from very long time from Amarin. His lectures are so beautifully touches our heart with all the Bhagavatam, etc.
And then it's just taking like voice of cow, it's exactly how cow. So nicely.
Yeah. Okay, thank you so much, Mataji, for sharing those news. Okay, so thank you so much. Any other updates, or we shall move into the next part of our program, the description of Vaikunta. Okay, we'll show just so in the last session, so we were discussing on the Vaikunta, the planet Vaikunta. So where the Lord is enjoying with all his opulences. And now also we have been hearing that the Lord has appeared to Gajendra from the Vaikunta planet. So just so now in the Vaikunta, the four Kumaras, they after having the conversations with the Jaya and Vijaya, and the Jaya and Vijaya were cursed. At that time, Krishna has come, and Krishna, the Lord, with his opulence, with all the encourage, some assistants are doing the Chamara, and Goddess Lakshmi is the accompanying the Lord. The Lord walked on to that spot, to the door, the seventh door of the Vaikunta. That is, this is all operates of Vaikunta. One has to hear about the Vaikunta every day. Sudhisnanam ekadese manasa pranadharanam. Vaikunta lela abhidhanam samadhanam tatatmanaha. This is called samadhi. Hearing about the Vaikunta lela. Hearing about Vaikunta lela is called samadhi. So here the Lord Evam Tadaiva Bhagavan Aravindanabaha Swanam Vibudya Sad Atikramam Aryahujyaha Tasmin Yayu Paramahamsa Mahamuninam Anveshaniya Charanau Chalayan Sahasrihi. The lotus feet which are always searched by the great sages in their the who are the great sages Paramahamsa Mahamuninam, the great Paramahamsa. On that lotus feet, the Lord has walked along with Chalayan Sahasrihi, with goddess of fortune. Tam Twagatam Pratihuta Aupaikum Swapumbihi, Te Chakshita Akshavishim Swasamadhi Bhagyam, Ham Sutriyoho Vijanayoho Sivavayu Lolat, Shubhra Atapatra Sasikesara Sikarambhum. So when he has got this Shubhrata Patra, the white umbrella, very big, and then having all the strings around the umbrella, they're just like a drop, pearl drops falling from the moon. Sasikesara Sikarambhum. So this is kind of a beautiful analogy is giving comparison. And while the assistants, they are doing the chamara with so much of the favorable winds. Shivavayu Lolat, Shivavayu Lolat. If they are moving this camera, Sivavayu, all auspicious wind is blowing to the Lord. They are appearing like a Hamsasriyoho, just like the swans. Hamsasriyoho, Vyajanayoho. This is what Kumaras are seeing here. The four Kumaras looking and wonderfully watching at the Lord and Goddess of Fortune and all his entourage. This is the Tvam Swagatam Pratihuta Aupayakam Swapum Bibihi. Te Achakshata Akshavishayam Swasamadhi Bhagyam. Actually, they would be seeing the Lord in their hearts. It is a partially. Pradeshamatram Purusham Vasantam. Now Kumaras are directly seeing the Lord. This is Hamsasriyoha Vidanayoha Sivayulor Subhrata Patra Sisikesara Sikaram and that situation, everyone by looking at that, Krishna Prasad Tumukam Spruhaniya Dhama Sneha Valoka Kalaya Vrisam Sprushantam Syame Prutavarsi Sobitaya Sriyasvaha Choda Manim Subhagayantam Yavapna Dishnyam. It is Krishna Prasad Sumakam Spruhaniya Dhamma. It is everyone desires to go there and associate with the Lord. Spruhaniya Dhamma, desirable. Sneha Avaloka Kalaya Pridisam Spushantam. It is touching to the heart of everyone. Syame Prutavarsi Sobitaya Sriyasvaham. And their goddess of fortune is there. And Chodamanim Subhagayantam Ivatma Disnyam. Chodamani. And this planet of Vaikunta is like a Chodamani. And goddess of fortune is always there. That way, Vaikunta is so opulent. And later on, Brahma is saying to the demigods, the Lord has having Pitam Suke Prutinitim Vini Vispurantya Kanchali Bihivirutaya Vanamalaya Cham Valgu Prakoshta Valayam Vinata Sutamshe Vinyasta Hastamitarena Dunanamabjam. And the Lord has got the yellow garment. Pitam Suke Prutinitim Vini Vispurancha. It is very glowing. This is the yellowish Pitam Suke, Pitavarnam. And Vispurancha. It is glittering. This yellow garment on Pruthanitambani on his waist. Kanchalabihi Virutaya Vanamalaya Cham. And he has got a garland and alibihi, the bumblebees are attracted towards the garland of the Lord. Vanamalaya Cha. And then on one hand on top of the Garuda, Valgu Prakosta Valayam. Keeping one hand on the Garuda, Vinata Suta Amshe, Vinata Suta. So Vinata Suta, Garuda's mother name is Vinata, and her Suta is Garuda. So Vinata Mata has got two children. One is Garuda, and Garuda's younger brother, he is called Aruna. Aruna is the chariot driver of the sun god. Sun god, he goes on his in his chariot with the only one wheel and 7 horses. It is going with very fast. So, and Aruna is the charioteer. He is the elder brother of Garuda. He is also Vinatasuta, and Garuda is the second son. And Aruna, he doesn't have the second half of his body. Only he has got top body has got developed. But Vinatamata opened the egg prematurely, and then later on, Aruna went back to sun god as a charity. So sometimes we also see Arunodayam when the sun is rising in the eastern horizon. Arunodayam. So the Aruna is coming. So before this is he's a chariot driver of the sun god. And here Garuda is the son of Vinata, the Vinata Sutta Amshe, and he has taken the position as a carrier of Vishnu. Garuda. He is also in the previous verses also. In the Bhagavatam, we have seen Patagaraja. Patagaraja, he is the king of the birds, Garuda. And so Valgu Prakoshta Valayam Vinatastamche, the Lord has kept one hand on the Garuda's shoulders, and Vinyasta Hattamiterena Dunanamabhyam. And then, and in one hand, he has got the lotus flower and he has just rotating with his fingers. Dunanamabjam, with a just kind of a leela, just moving. Whatever the Lord does, it is a leela. He is moving his hand, he is sitting on the Garuda, keeping one hand on Garuda. This is all leelas. So this is the pastimes for us to hear about the Lord. So he canvases us that whenever he appears on the planet, he canvassed that all his activities are very wonderful, so that all conditioned souls are attracted to hear. That is the Krishna Katha, knowing about Krishna. So Vinyasta Hatamitrena Dunanamabhyam. So likewise, the Lord is there with the goddess of fortune. Now today, Brahma is speaking to demigods while all are sitting around the Brahma. Brahma is saying, describing the beauty of the Lord. So far, the yellow garments, Vanamala, and how he is having the lotus flower in one hand and Garuda. Now he turns his attention towards the earrings of the Lord and his necklaces on his neck, and the crown on top of his head, and also this Vanamala. Under the Vanamala, there are so many of necklaces. And that one of it is called Kaustubha. So that is likewise, Brahma is saying to all the demigods. विद्युत्क्षिपन् मकरकुण्डलमण्डनार्ह गण्डस्थलोन्नतमुखं मणिमत्किरीटं दोर्दण्डषण्डविवरे हरतापराध्य हारेण कन्दर्गतेन च कौस्तभेन विद्युत्क्षिपन् मकरकुण्डलमण्डनार्ह विद्युत्क्षिपन्, just like a outshining the lightning. Vidyut is the this lightning. Whenever in the clouds we see, it is in our experience. So Vidyut Chipan, like that, Vidyut Chipan, Makara Kundala, and these are earrings or alligator shaped. Makara Kundala earrings, alligator shaped earrings. Makara Kundala Mandanarha, and they are decorated in the ears of the Lord. Makara Kundala Mandanarha, as it fits. Vidyut Kshipan Makara Kundala Mandanarha, Gandasthalona Samukam Manimat Kiritam. Gandasthala. And Gandasthala is the on his cheeks. Unnasa is the prominent nose. Gandasthala, his cheeks and his prominent nose, and Mukam, countenance. Gandasthala, Unnasa, Mukam, and then Manimat Kiritam. So his face is, these are all the glorification. His cheeks, his prominent nose, and Mukam, and countenance, and Manimat Kiritam, gem-studded Kiritam, the crown, gem-studded crown. This is Gandasthalonna Samukam, Manimat Kiritam. So different. Gandasthala, Unnasa, Mukam, Manimat Kiritam. Dordanda Shanda Vivare Haritaparadhya. Dordhanda Shanda Vivare. Dordhanda. So he has got 4 hands, 4 stout arms. They are very strong. Dordhanda Shanda Vivare. So the group, the 4 hands, we have got 2 hands. The Lord has got 4 hands. Dordhanda Shanda Vivare. So the between Harata Paradhya, the charming by the, and Harata. So on top of his shoulders, Harita is charming. Paradhya, by the most precious. Harena, they are the necklaces. Harena, necklaces. Kandara Gatena, adorning his cheeks. Adorning his neck. They are decorated in his neck. Harena, Kandara Gatena. Cha Kaustabhena, and also the Kaustubha jewel. So this is the glorification of the Kaustubha jewel. Harena Kandargatena Kaustubhena. So this is Vidyut Chipan Makara Kundala Mandanarha Gandasthalonna Samukam Manimat Kiritam Dodhanda Shanda Vivare Harata Paradhya Harena Kandargatena Cha Kaustubhena. The beautiful glorification of the face of the Lord. So translation for this verse. His countenance was distinguished by cheeks that enhanced the beauty of his alligator-shaped pendants, which outshined lightning. His nose was prominent, and his head was covered with a gem-studded crown. A charming necklace hung between his stout arms, and his neck was adorned with the gem known by the name Kaustubha. This is the glorification of all his crown and earrings and Kaustubha and charming necklaces between his stout arms. And also here, then his nose was prominent, glorifying when these earrings are when we are having these glittering earrings with the jewels, the shining come from there, it fall on our face and the face also glows. That is also mentioned in some other part when Kapil Bhagavan glorifies the Lord's beauty in a four-handed form. At that time, he also explains that. So, and also these earrings are alligator shaped. Okay, so there is no purport for this particular verse. Dear devotees, if you have got any questions, kindly raise. Or you wanted to add anything, kindly add. Okay, if there are no additions, so we shall move to the next verse. And here, in the next verse, the Brahma is saying how that beauty is when the goddess of fortune is standing next to the Lord. The Lord's beauty is, it is more far, it is exceeding than the goddess of fortune. And also his body is very stout and very strong in such a way that according to the devotees' expectations that my Lord is going to protect us, that is the devotees. So in such a way, the body of the Lord is very strongly built. So that personality of Godhead, Brahma is saying to the demigod, saying that, oh demigods, that personality of Godhead, he is the always worshipable to us, myself and to yourself and also to the Lord Shankara. So such personality of Godhead, whenever the four Kumaras they have seen the Lord, immediately they have they are trying to offer their obeisances to the lotus feet of the Lord. And also by looking at the Lord, they are still looking very eagerly looking without any satiation. So likewise, Brahma is saying to the demigods. So here, Atropasrishtimiti cha usmitam indirayaha swanam dhiya virijitam bahusaustavadhyam mahyam bhavasya bhavatam cha bhajanta mangam nemurnidiksha navitrupta drusho mudakaihi. Atropasrishtamiti cha usmitam indirayaha. So Atra, here in the matter of the beauty, Upasrishtam Upaspristam is the curved down. Iti cha usmitam indriyaha. Usmitam. Here, the pride of her beauty. This is the pride of her beauty. Who is that? Of the Indrayaha, the goddess of fortune. Goddess of fortune is so beautiful. Sometimes, when if the goddess of fortune is having pride, of course, Mata, she would not have any pride. But here the Lord's beauty, Atropustamiticha Usmitam Indirayaham. That is explains here. The Lord beauty is exceeding than the goddess of fortune. Exceeding the goddess of fortune. Like that, Lord is there. He is so beautiful. Atropustam iticha usmitam indirayaha, exceeding the goddess of fortune. And also, Swanam dhiya virichitam bahusaustavadhyam. Swanam is the devotees of the Lord, of his own devotees, dhiya, by their intelligence, virichitam, meditated on. The devotees think that my Lord is very strong, he protects me in all times and circumstances. Swanam dhiya virichitam. Likewise, bahusaustavadhyam, he is very beautifully decorated and strong. Bahusaustavadhyam, very beautifully decorated. And that particular Lord, Mahyam of me, Bhavasya of Lord Shiva, Bhavatam of all of you, O demigods, cha, and bhajantam, and he is worshipped by all of us. Bhajantamangam, the figure. So professing the figure. And that personality of Godhead, when he was like that with the goddess of fortune, and then Nemur Niriksha Navitrupta Dusho Mudakaihi. Nemur Niriksha. These four Kumaras, they bowed down. Nemur Niriksha, after seeing the Lord, Nemur Niriksha, they're bowing down. Navitrupta, they are not satiated. Drushaha, with their eyes, they are still watching the Lord. And how? Muda, very joyously. And they have bent Muda Kaihi by their heads, bending down their heads with so much of respect and joyousness. They're drinking the Panapatra Mukam Dusham, Saranganam Padambujam. So they are drinking the nectar of the beauty of the Lord with their eyes, Dushaha, with their eyes. They are still not satiated. So this is Nityam Nirikshamananam, Nityam Nirikshamananam. Even the every day they are seeing the Dwarkas people, citizens, Nityam Nirikshamananam. Suta Goswami explains that still they wanted na vitrumtihi na vitrupyantihi dushaha shriyodhamangam achyutam द्वारकायाः कुलस्त्रियः नित्यनिरीक्षमाणानां न वितृप्तिः दृशः श्रियोदामाङ्गम् अच्युतम्. So he is very beautiful. Krishna is very beautiful. They are not satiated. Likewise, Kumaras, they are seeing personally here. Previously, they used to see Samadhi Bhagyam. Whatever they have to do, experience partially. Now they are seeing personally, directly in front of the Lord. This is the beauty of the Lord, and they are not satiated. अत्रोपसृष्टिमिति च उस्मितम् इन्दिरायाः स्वानां धिया विरचितं बहुसौष्ठवाढ्यं मह्यं भवस्य भवतां च भजन्तमङ्गं नेमुर्निरीक्ष न वितृप्तदृशो मुदाकैः. So beautiful. Okay, so can I request any devotees to read the translation and purport as well?
May I read, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji, please.
The exquisite beauty of Narayan, being many times magnified by the intelligence of his devotees, was so attractive that it defeated the pride of the goddess of fortune in being the most beautiful. My dear demigods, the Lord who thus manifested himself is worshipable by me, by Lord Shiva, and by all of you. The sages regarded him with unsated eyes and joyously bowed their heads at his lotus feet. Purport. The beauty of Lord was so enchanting that it could not be sufficiently described. The goddess of fortune is supposed to be most beautiful sight within the spiritual and material creations of the Lord. She has a sense of being the most beautiful, yet her beauty was defeated when the Lord appeared. In other words, the beauty of goddess is of fortune is secondary in the presence of the Lord. In the words of Vaishnava poets, it is said that the Lord's beauty is so enchanting that it defeats hundreds of thousands of cupids. He is therefore called Madan Mohana. It is also described that the Lord sometimes becomes mad after the beauty of Radharani. Poets describe that under those circumstances, although Lord Krishna is Madan Mohana, he becomes Madandaha. Madanadaha, or enchanted by the beauty of Radharani. Actually, the Lord's beauty is super excellent, surpassing even the beauty of Lakshmi in Vaikunta. The devotees of Lord in the Vaikunta planets wants to see the Lord as most beautiful, but the devotees in Goloka or Krishna Loka want to see Radharani as more beautiful than Krishna. The adjustment is that Lord being Bhakta Vatsala, or one who wants to please his devotees, assumes such features so that devotees like Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and other demigods may be pleased. Here also, for the devotee sages, the Kumaras, the Lord appear in his most beautiful feature, and they continue to see him without satiation and wanted to continue seeing him more and more. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai. So beautiful. Thank you so much, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhu.
So this is the enchanting beauty of the Lord. So it could not be sufficiently described. So that's why Kapil Bhagavan, he has one complete chapter, around 20 slokas, just to glorify the beauty of the Lord. So here, just wanted to bring those things, the beauty. So this is meditating on the Lord. It will be very, very beautiful. I just wanted to bring this one. Just so here in this, just not going through each and everything, but just in going how the one has to meditate on the Lord's beauty. Yada manah swam virajam yogena susamahitam kastam bhagavato jhaye swana sagar avalokanaha. This is the yogi. He keeps his eyesight on the tip of the nose and he meditates. Prasannavadanam bhojam padmagarbha arunekshanam nilotpaladala shyamam shankachakra gadadharam. So Prasannavadanam, his face is always very pleasing. Padmagarbha Arunekshanam, his high sight. Padmagarbha, it is inside the lotus flower. It is the countenance, lotus-like countenance with the ruddy eyes, like the interior of a lotus. Nilotpaladala Shamam, Shankachakra Gadadharam, and Nilotpala, it is the body like petals of blue lotus. And then further, Lasat Lasat Pankaja Kinjalka Pita Kauseya Vasasam Srivatsa Baksham Bhrajat Kautava Mukta Kandharam, with different glittering ornaments of the Lord. And then further, Matta Direfa Kalaya Paritam Vanamalaya Paradhyahara Valaya Kiritangada Nupuram. So many of these necklaces and Vanamala. And the crown. So these are glorified. They are on top of the head, on top of the Lord. The Lord is having all these things. And then Kanchi Guna Uladasronim Sudayam Bhoja Vistaram Darshaniyatamam Shantam Manonayana Vardhanam. It is so Manonayana Vardhanam. It is, we wanted to see the Lord again and again. This is the he is having this Kanchi Kunna Ulata Shronim Pradayam Bhodya Vistaram Darshaniyatamam Shantam. So this is the beauty again. So I'm just going very fastly. Api Chidarshnam Shashwat Sarvaloka Namashprutam Santam Vaisi Kaisore Bhuttanugraha Kataram. He is always in the Santam Vaisi Kaishori, Kishora age, in the like 14 to 16 years of age. Bhuttanugraha Kataram. He wanted to give benediction to his devotees. Sarvaloka Namaskritam. And everyone are worshipping that Lord. He's so beauty. And then Kirtaniyatidhayasham Punyashloka Yashkaram Jayedhyam Samagrangam Yavanna Chavate Manaham. And Kirtaniyatidhayasham, his glories are always famous. Kirtaniyatidhayasham Punyashloka Yashkaram Jaya Devam Samagrangam. We have to meditate the Lord's perfectly fit body. Yavanna Chavate Manaha. One should meditate on that form and with a fixed mind. Sthitam Brajantam Asinam Sayanam Vaguhasayam Prekshaniya Ihitam Jayat Shuddha Bhavena Chetasam. So, and one visualizes the Lords like standing, moving, lying down, or sitting within him. So for the pastimes of the Supreme Lord are always beautiful and attractive. That one has to meditate when the Lord is like that. And then Tasmin labda padam chettam sarvavaiva samsitam vilakshekatra samyujjhat ange bhagavato munihi. So the fixing his mind on the eternal form of the Lord, one should meditate each and every limb for a long time. Should fix the mind on each individual limb of the Lord. And starting from Sanchintayed Bhagavataha Charanaravindam Vajrankushadvaja Saruruhalanjanadhyam Uttungarakta Vilasatnaka Chakravala Josna Pirahata Mahad Prayamdakaram. This is the lotus feet. And the description is here. I'm just going quickly. There are many verses. That lotus feet, it gives the light in the dark of our hearts. So and one has to meditate for a longer period. Sanchintayat Bhagavataha Charanaravindam. First should concentrate his mind on the lotus feet, and which are adorned with the marks of the thunderbolt, a gourd, a banner, and a lotus. And the splendor of their beautiful ruby nails resembles the orb of the moon and dispels the thick gloom of one's heart. And that lotus feet further, यस्सौचनिसृतचरित्रवरोदकेन तेढ्येन मूर्ध्नि अधिकृतेन शिवः शिवो अभूत् झातुः मनः श्यामलशैलनिसृष्टवज्रं ध्यायेच्चिरं भगवतः चरणारविन्दम्. Jayetchiram, for a longer time one has to meditate on that lotus feet. And so from that lotus feet, yasauchanisurdasaritpravarodakena and tidhena mudni adhikrutena siva siva abhut. The Ganges coming from the lotus feet of the Lord, it purifies everyone, and it is always on the head of the Lord Shiva, and who is always purified, but still it purifies further. So this is all such kind of auspicious lotus feet of the Lord. And the Lord's feet act like thunderbolts hurled to shatter the mountain of sin stored in the mind of a meditating devotee. This is that Lord's lotus feet. Samala Sailed Nisrusta Vajram, it will kick Lord's lotus feet, kick all the hill of the sins, mountain of sins. That lotus feet. Jatuh Manaha Samala Sailed Nisrusta Vajram, Jhaye Chiram Bhagavataha Charanaravindam. One should therefore meditate on the lotus feet for a long time, just still on the lotus feet. And then after that, Janadvayam Jala Jalochanaya Jananya Lakshmya Kilasya Survanditaya Vidatuhum Purvo Nidhaya Karapallava Rochishayad Samlalitan Pridivibhoda Bhavasya Kuryat. And his legs. And what are his legs? The yogi should fix his heart, the activities of Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, who is worshipped by all demigods and is the mother of the supreme person, Brahma. She can always be found massaging the legs and thighs of the transcendental Lord, very carefully serving him in this way. Uro Nidaya Karapallava Rauchishayat. So keeping Lord's legs on the lap of goddess of fortune, she always massages very carefully. Samlalitam hridi vibhoda bhavasya puryat. Samlalitam hridi. So it is so much of great heart. She massages the legs of the Lord. And that is the legs. And then Uru Supanna Bhajayo Radishobha Manav Vojo Nidyatasika Kusumava Bhaso Vyalambipita Varavasasi Vattamana Kanchi Kalapa Parirambinitam Bimbam. And that his thighs. Uru Supanna Bhajayo Radishobha Manav. He keeps his thighs and sitting on the Garuda. Adhishobhamano, the beauty is so glorious. And here, what are those guru, the thighs? Vojo Nidhi, this is the powerhouse. It is mentioned as the powerhouse, the strength. His thighs are very strong. Vojo Nidhi. Atasika Kusumava Bhaso. Just like Atasika Kusumava Bhaso. They say, there is a flower, I shall read this one. The yogi should fix his mind meditation on the personality of Godhead's thighs, the storehouse of all energy. The Lord's thighs are whitish blue like the luster of the linseed flower, and appear most graceful when the Lord is carried on the shoulders of Garuda. Also, the yogi should contemplate his rounded hips, which are encircled by the girdle that rests on the exquisite yellow silk cloth that extends down to his ankles. So this is Vyalambi Pita Varavasasi Vartamana. This yellow garment is hanging on his body, starting from his waist. Vyalambi Pita Varavasasi Vartamana Kanchi Kalapa Parirambi Nitamba Bimbam on his rounded shaped hips. So it is the beauty of the Lord is very, very nice. His rounded hips, which are encircled by a girdle that rests on exquisite yellow silk cloth that extends down to his ankles. And then that is the waist part. Next, coming to the navel part. Nabhihradam bhuvanakosha guhodarastam yatrātmayoni dishina kilaloka padmam vyodam haritmani vrushastanayoramushya dhyayedvayam vishadahara mayuka gauram. And Nabhihradam, this is Nabhihradam, the navel, it is the, one has to meditate on the Nabhi, the navel, which is the Bhonakosha Guhodarastam, all the 14 planet systems situated within the navel. Bhuvanakosha Guhodarastam, Guha, Budarastam. And then that is the place Yatratma Yoni Dishnakila Lokapadham, where the lotus flower has emanated from, and Atma Yoni. Atma Yoni is the Brahma has come. Dishnakila Lokapadham. And then Vyodam Haritmani Rushastanayo Ramushya Dhyayed Bhayam Vishadahara Mayuka Gauram. Vyodam Haritmani Rushastanayo Ramushya. Vrusha, when he has got these pearl garlands on his neck and it is hanging up to his chest, the two breasts. Vyodam Haritmani, they are hanging Mani Stanayo Ramushya, unto his breast, Amushya, they are very beautiful. Jhaye Dvayam Vishidahara Mayuka Gauram, one has to meditate his chest. So this is, a yogi should then meditate on his moon-like navel in the center of his abdomen. From his navel, which is the foundation of the entire universe, sprang the lotus stem containing all the different planetary systems. The lotus is the residence of Brahma, the first created being. In the same way, the yogi should concentrate his mind on the Lord's nipples, which resemble a pair of most exquisite emeralds and which appear whitish because of rays of the milk white pearl necklaces adorning his chest. So this is again beauty. Again, going little upper than his breast is coming to Vaksha. Vakshodivasam Rushabhasya Mahavibhutehe Pumsam Manonayna Nivritim Adadhanam Kantam cha Kaustabhamaniradirbhoshanardham Puryat Manasi Akirloka Namaskrutasyam. This is Vaksho Adivasam Rushabhasya Mahavibhutehe. And so here, Adivasam Rushabhasya Mahavibhutehe is the all the opulences. Once see, this is the Vaksha is the place which is attracted everyone's eyes. Vakshu Adivasam Rushabhasya Mahavibhutehe. Rushabhasya, he is the greatest personality. And Pumsam Manonayana Nivritim Adadhanam. So by looking at the Lord's chest and Manonayana Nivritim Adadhanam, it will remove all kinds of impurities from one's mind. Kantam cha Kaustabhamane Radibhoshanadham Puryat Manasi Akraloka Namaskrutasya. And he has got Kaustubha in his neck, Kantamcha in his neck, Kaustabhamanehe Adibhoshanadham. It is very beautiful ornament, Kaustubhajam. Puryat Manasi Akraloka Namaskrutasya. So one has to meditate. So the yogi should then meditate on the chest of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the abode of Goddess, Mahalakshmi. The Lord's chest is the source of all transcendental pleasure for the mind and full satisfaction for the eyes. The yogi should then imprint on his mind the neck of the personality of Godhead, who is adored by the entire universe. The neck of the Lord serves to enhance the beauty of the Kaustubha gem, which hangs on his chest. And then coming to after the neck, after the chest and the neck, coming to the shoulders. Bahum Shamandaragirehe Parivartanena Nirnikta Bahuvalaya Nadilokapalam Sanchintayed Dasiharam Asahya Tejaha Sankam Cha Tatkara Saroruha Rajahamsam Bahumsha Mandargirehe Parivartanena, and his arms Bahumsha Mandargirehe, when the Mandarachala mountain during the churning of the milk ocean, Parivartanena, it was churning on top of when he was on the Kurma incarnation. So all the ornaments on top of his body are there, and the Mandara mountain was rotating on top of his body, and the jewels as well. At that time, the jewels are being shined. Mandargirehe Parivartanena Nirnikta Bahuvalayan Adhilokapalan. So this is the Nirnikta Bahuvalayan Adhilokapalan. That arms of the Lord, they are the protection of all the Adhilokapalan, the rulers of the all the planets. Sanchintaye Dasashadaram Asahya Tejaha Dasashadaram. It is the Sudarsana wheel. One has to meditate on the wheel of the Lord as well. The Asahya Tejaha, its effulgence is unlimited. Asahya, one cannot tolerate the effulgence of the Sudarsana Chakra. And then what else? Sankam cha tatkara sarorha rajahamsam. A conch shell is also in the hand of the Lord, just like a Rajahamsa. Just like a Rajahamsa, a king of the swan. So yogi should further meditate upon Lord's forearms, which are the source of all powers of the demigods who control the various functions of the material nature. Then the yogi should concentrate on the polished ornaments which were burnished by Mount Mandara as it revolved. He should also duly contemplate the Lord's discus, the Sudarsana Chakra, which contains 1,000 spokes and a dazzling luster, as well as the conch, which looks like a swan in his lotus-like palm. It is the beauty of the Lord. And then further, coming to the Kaumodiki Gada and also the Vanamala. Kaumodikam Bhagavato Daitam Smareta Digdhamarati Bhata Sodita Kardhamena Malam Madurata Varuta Giropa Ghustam Chechesya Tattvamalam Manimasya Kante Kaumodikim Bhagavato Daitam Smareta. One has to meditate on the Kaumodiki Gada as well. Daitam Smareta. And what is that Kaumodiki? Digdham Arati Bhata Sonita Kardhamena. Digdham Arati Bhata is the soldiers of the demons. Sonita, the blood. Kardhamena, it is always wet with the blood of the demons, demonic soldiers. That is Digdham Arati Bhata Sonita Kardhamena. This Kaumodiki Gada, it is always protects the devotees and punish the demonic people. And we also see when the Lord has got Krishna, he expanded himself as a Angusta Matra Mamalam, Purat Purata Maulinam, Apive Darshanam Syamam, Tadidvasasam Machyutam. And so at the time, when he was protecting Parikshit Maharaj in the womb of Uttara, at that time this Gada was rotating with very fastly. Paribhramantamulkabham Gadam Muhurmuhu. That Gada, it was rotating very fastly. So that is the Gada. Digdhamarate Bhata Sodita Kardhamena Mala Madurata Varuta Giropa Bhustam Chechasya Tattva Amalam Manimasya Kante. And Malam, this is the Vanamala. Madhurata Varuta, they are very, very intoxicated. Madhurata. And Varuta is the bumblebees. Giropa Gushtam, they are coming attracted towards that Vanamala. Chechasya Tattwamalam Manimasya Kante. And he has got so many other necklaces in his neck. So yogi should meditate upon his club, which is named Kaumodiki and is very dear to him. This club smashes the demons who are always inimical soldiers and is smeared with their blood. One should also concentrate on the nice garland on the neck of the Lord, which is always surrounded by bumblebees with their nice buzzing sound. And one should meditate upon the pearl necklace on the Lord's neck, which is considered to represent the pure living entities who are always engaged in his service. भृत्यानुकम्पितदेहगृहीतमूर्धेः सञ्चिन्तयेद् भगवतो वदनारविन्दम् यद्विस्फुरन् मकरकुण्डलवल्गितेन विज्योतित अमलकपोलम् उदारनासम्. And yogi should meditate on the lotus-like countenance of the Lord. This is Bruchanukampita Deha Grihita Muddehe. Brucha Anukampita. He is inclined to the devotees. Deha. And Grihita Muddehe. That form is always compassionate. Sanchintayed. One has to meditate Bhagavato Vadanaravindam on the face of the Lord. Sanchintayed Bhagavato Vadanaravindam. The countenance of the Lord, who presents his different forms in this world out of compassion for anxious devotees. And then, Yad Vispuran Makarakundala Valgitena. And Yad Vispuran. So, what is Vispuran? His cheeks. By what? Makarakundala Valgitena. Vijyotita Amalakapolam Budaranasam. So his nose is prominent and his crystal clear cheeks are illuminated by the oscillation of his glittering alligator-shaped earrings. So just now we passed through this kind of earrings, and his cheeks are illuminated by the oscillation of his glittering alligator-shaped earrings. And Udaranasam, and his nose is prominent. It is the beauty of everyone's face. If nose is not properly shaped, face looks ugly. But here Lord's nose is prominent, highly raised one. This is Udaranasam. And then further, Yashriniketamalibihi Parisevyamanam Bhotya Swaya Kutila Kuntala Vrundajustam Meenadvayashrim Adikyapat Abjanetram Jayet Manomayam Atandrita Ullasadbhru Yashriniketamalibihi Parisevyamanam and Bhutya Swaya Kutila Kuntala Vrundajustam. So here in the previous verse, the face is being glorified. Now, to glorify further in the extension, that face has been around his face, the hair, which is the black. How they are looking like when all the bumblebees coming and forming like a tree in a row and sticking to the lotus flower. Just likewise, so many stings around the lotus flower. The Lord's face is like that. All his hair are surrounded around his face. I mean, face in the sense on top of his hair. Yashriniketamalibihi parisevyamanam bhutya swaya kutila kuntala brundajustam. That way. And meenadvayashrim adikyapat abjanetram. And his eyes, they are mocking the fishes. Meenadvayashrim adikyapat abjanetram. They are exceeding the beauty of the two fishes. Jayet manomayam atandrita ullasadbhru. So likewise, one has to meditate on the eyebrows as well. Jayet manomayam atandrita ullasadbhru. It is eyebrows. So the yogi then meditate upon the beautiful face of the Lord, which is adorned with curly hair and decorated by lotus-like eyes and dancing eyebrows. A lotus surrounded by swarming bees and a pair of swimming fish would be put to shame by its elegance. See, it is exceeding the beauty of these bumblebees and the fishes. So that is the beauty. So when we are hearing this beauty of the Lord, our heart always remembering this one, how beautiful. As soon as we see the form of the Lord, we search for how his eyes, how his eyebrows, how his nose and his earrings. First we go, because we have meditated for a very long time, starting from the lotus feet and then knees and then legs and knees and the thighs, navel, chest and his breast and his neck and his shoulders, Sudarshanavir, Kaumodiki, and the conch shell, and then his face, coming to his face and eyes, his hair. And then what else? And his glorification of his face is still Tasyavalokamadikam krupayate ghora tapatrayopashamanaya visrushtamakshnoho snigdasmithanugunitam vipula prasadam jhaye chiram vipula bhavanaya guhayam. And tasyavalokamadikam krupayate ghora. When people of this material world, tasyavalokamadikam krupayate ghora, they are in a very distressful condition, ghora. And then the Lord is tapatra upashamanaya nisrushtamakshnoho. By the glance of the Lord, he will remove all kinds of tapatriya from the heart of all the living entities. Tasyavalokamadikam krupayate ghora. And then snigdha, how one should meditate? Snigdha smithanugunitam vipula prasadam. And his eyes are always snigdha smithanugunitam vipula prasadam. They are all like beautifully, he is having his glance. Snigdha smithanugunitam vipula prasadam. And his eyesight is so generous. And he wanted to give all benediction to his devotees. Vipula prasadam. Jhaye chiram vipula bhavanaya guhayam. One has to meditate on his this smile, snigdha smithanugunitam. When the Lord smiles and showing his glance on the living entities, one has to meditate on that face of the Lord. So the yogi should meditate with full devotion. The compassionate glances frequently cast by the Lord's eyes, for they soothe the most beautiful most fearful threefold agnis of the devotees. His glances, accompanied by loving smiles, are full of abundant grace. That is, his glances are full of abundant grace. They are with so much of compassion and grace. His smiles. The Lord always smiles. That means one's distress will be evaporated, just like that. And then further his smiles are glorified. Hasam harehi avanatha akiloka tivra sokasrusagar vishoshanam mati udaram sammohanaya rachitum nijamaya yasya bhrumandalam munikrute makaradvajasya. Hasam harehi avanatha akiloka tivra. And his smile, avanatha akiloka tivra, from all the planetary systems, tivra sokasuru sagara vishoshanam. And if everyone soka, it is there in the lamentation, ocean of lamentation, and that tivra, it is very huge and so much of distressful lamentation. And that lamentation will be vishoshanam ativudaram. That will be evaporated. All the distress will be evaporated of the devotees as soon as they see the Lord's hasam harehe avanata akilaloka tivra soka sursagar vishoshanam ati udaram. They are very, very generous. Those smiles, either demons or devotees or anyone, demigods or anyone, so they will get all the benedictions by the smiles of the Lord. सम्मोहनाय रचितुं निजमाय यास्य भ्रूमण्डलं मुनिकृते मकरध्वजस्य. And the sammohanaya rachitam nijamaya yasya, by the internal potency of the Lord, nijamaya yasya, sammohanaya rachitam, to sammohanaya is the attract the cupid, rachitam, bhrumandalam munikrute makaradhvajasya. One has to meditate the eyebrows of the Lord, bhrumandalam. Munikrute, one who is trying to control his senses, Makaradvajasya, and to protect his senses from the cupid. So a yogi should similarly meditate on the most benevolent smile of Lord Sri Hari, a smile which for all those who bow to him dries away the ocean of tears caused by the intense grief. The yogi should also meditate on the Lord's arched eyebrows, which are manifested by his internal potency in order to charm the sex god for the good of the sages. So sages wanted to control their senses. So one has to meditate on the Bhrumandalam, that is between the two eyebrows. That is the place called Bhrumandalam. Kurite Makaradvajasya. Makaradvajasya is the Cupid. And then further just only two more verses. Janayanam prasitam bahuladarosta bhasarunaitanu vijakundapankti jhaye swadeha kuhare avitasya vishnoho bhaktyardhaya arpitamana na prudagdidrakshet. Jhanayanam prasitam bahuladarosta. And so here with the devotion steeped in love and affection, the yogi should meditate within the core of his heart upon the laughter uh, laughter of Lord Vishnu. The laughter of Vishnu is so captivating that it can be easily meditated upon. When the Supreme Lord is laughing, one can see his small teeth. This is Bhasa Arunaita Tanudvijakunda Pankti. Arunaitanu Dvijakunda Pankti. The teeth, the small teeth, which resemble jasmine buds. Jasmine buds are very white, rendered rosy by the splendor of his lips. And the roses are kept next to the jasmine buds. They're also getting the reflection of the reddish hue from the roses. So likewise, the Lord has got reddish lips. Bhasa Arunaita, and his teeth, his reddish lips. That hue is falling on the white pearl-like teeth. Bhasa Arunachitanu Vijakunda Pankti. That his teeth are very, very beautiful, rendered rosy by the splendor of his lips. Once devoting his mind to this, the yogi should no longer desire to see anything else. This is Jaye Swadeha Puhare Avatisya Vishnoho. If one sees the Lord in such a beautiful form, Bhaktya Ardhaya Arpitamana Na Pradakdidrakshet, he doesn't want to see anything else. What is there? That is the once we see the highest beauty, he does not like anything in this world. That is the beauty of the Lord. Bhaktya Ardraya Arpita Mana Na Pradakdidrakshet. So this is the yogis devoting his mind to the beauty of the Lord. Yogi should no longer desire to see anything else. So by hearing here the sound Bhagavan Shabda Gocharaha, this one can see the Lord in his heart by the sound vibrations. And then Evam Haro Bhagavati Pritilabdha Bhavo Bhaktyadra Hridaya Utpalakaha Pramodhad Outkancha Bhashpakalaya Muhrajhamanaha Tachapi Chitta Badisham Senekaihi Viyungte. Evam Haro Bhagavati Pritilabdha Bhavo. In such a way, one is completely absorbed in the Pritilabdha Bhavo, in the Bhava of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Bhaktya Drava Hridaya, devotees of the Lord, their heart Dravad Hridaya, and their heart is melting. How? Utpulakaha Pramodhat, and blossoming with so much of happiness. Bhaktya Drava Hridaya Utpulakaha Pramodhat. So this is, and then Outkancha Bhashpakalaya Muhrajhamanaha, with so much of Outkancha and having tears in his eyes. Outkancha Bhashpakalaya, hearing about the Lord, having tears in his eyes. Muhuhu, again and again. Adhyamanaha. In such a way, the devotee, Tachapi Chitta Badisham Senekaihi Viyamte. In such a way, he will attain the path of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Tachapi Chitta Badisham. His heart is completely filled with the Supreme Personality of Godhead and with love and affection. And then Senekaihi Viyamte, and he withdraws gradually from the material activity. So here, by following this course, the yogi gradually develops pure love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari. In the course of his progress in devotional service, the hairs on his body stand erect through excessive joy, and he is constantly bathed in a stream of tears occasioned by intense love. Gradually, even the mind, which he used as a means to attract the Lord, as one attracts a fish to a hook, withdraws from material activity. So generally our mind is attracted by so many other material things. Manasastani indriyani prakristani karshati. Living entity suffers because mind is attracted by the material things. Now what happens when seeing the Lord through his eyes and his hearing with all his senses, absorbing himself in the mood of love and affection to the Lord's form, and touch up chittabadisham, his mind is completely filled with the Lord, nothing else. Then what happens? Withdraws from material activity, and his mind does not attract to any material things. So this is the beauty of the Lord is glorified. So with that one, so Kapila Bhagavan explains all the beauty of the Lord here. And that here, Brahma is saying to the all the demigods that Atropasuttamiticha Usmitam Indirayaha, the beauty of the Lord is exceeding the goddess of fortune. Atropustim Iticha Usmitam Indirayaha, to curb the pride of goddess of fortune's beauty. And that is Swanam Diya Verichitam Bahusaustavajam. According to the devotee's expectation, the Lord's body is strongly built with so much of beautifully and decorated. Mahyam bhavasya bhavatam cha bhajantamangam. And to everyone, myself, Lord Shiva, and all of you demigods, he is bhajantamangam, he is the worshipable. Nemur niriksha navitrupta dusho mudakaihi. The four Kumaras, they have bowed down their head to the lotus feet of the Lord. And then uh, Navitrupta, they are not satisfied by looking the beauty of the Lord. So that is the beauty of the Lord here. So in the words of the Vaishnava poets, it is said that Lord's beauty is so enchanting that it defeats hundreds of thousands of cupids. He is therefore called Madana Mohana. And whereas Radharani is the Madana Mohana Mohini. So she attracts the Krishna. And that's why she is always worshipped in the uh, Goloka or in the Vrindavan Dham more than Krishna. So because if Radharani is there, then Krishna will be immediately there next to Radharani. If you are approaching Krishna directly, it is very difficult because um, Vayoratapi Manaso Munipungavanam. Even no one can catch Krishna directly by straightforward. One has to go through the spiritual master and then Radharani. Radharani always serve the Supreme Lord. That's why one has to pray to the Radharani. Krishna Bhaktim, Krishna Dasyam, Dehe me Krishna Pujite. One has to worship Radharani. Krishna, for what? Krishna Bhaktim, Krishna Dasyam, Dehe me, just give me alms, O Radharani. That way one has to pray to the Radharani. Then, if Radharani is pleased, then she recommends the devotee to Krishna. That is the Radharani. And then further Prabhupada says, actually the Lord's beauty is super excellent, surpassing even the beauty of Lakshmi in Vaikunta. So that is the beauty of goddess of fortune. And the devotees of the Lord in the Vaikunta planets want to see the Lord as the most beautiful, but the devotees in Gokula or Krishna Loka want to see Radharani as more beautiful than Krishna. So this adjustment is that Prabhupada is giving. Krishna is the Bhakta Vatsala, or one who wants to please his devotees, assumes such features so that devotees like Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and other demigods may be pleased. So that is how Lord is in the Vaikunta. He is so beautiful. And here also for the devotees, sages, the four Kumaras, the Lord appeared in most beautiful feature, and they continued to see him without satiation and wanted to continue seeing him more and more, more and more. This is the mood of the Kumaras that we see here in the picture. See how beautifully they are absorbed in the form of the Lord, still looking at the Lord. Okay, so this is the verse from this particular beauty of glorifying the beauty of the Lord. So I request dear devotees, if you have got any questions or you wanted to add anything, kindly add or kindly ask any questions. Hare Krishna. Okay, no questions?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So like,
Hare Krishna Mataji.
this you were just saying about the sages meditated. So,
Yeah.
so like, as ordinary person can do that way, like meditate, how they do, like how you can concentrate on how an ordinary can do that. Some just for one, like how can they meditate? It's just for one, like it's just
Yes,
for.
Mataji. So this one, this method, this is 20th chapter of third canto. It explains the first 10 verses. Your yogi has to sit in his postures and control his all desires in a secluded place, keeping himself clean and in the right posture. He has to meditate on the Lord. This is the Sankhya philosophy. This is the Sankhya philosophy. So
It's
this
couple.
Kapila Bhagavan explains to Devhuti Mata when Devhuti Mata asks the questions. When Kapil Bhagavan explains, Kachitvai Uchta Bhakti Kidrisho Mama Gochara, and what are the different parts of the yoga, oh my dear Kapil Bhagavan, my son? So please explain this to me. And I wanted to understand. Then Kapil Bhagavan explains this Sankhya philosophy, how one yogi has to meditate on the form of the Lord. And then this is how one has to concentrate, and then how he'll be freed from. This is only one person, yogi, he meditate on the Lord sitting in a secluded place. This is one path. Another path is the devotional service. In the that is also devotional service because concentration on of the mind is on the form of the Lord. And here, in the devotional service is by Kapila, one has to go to the temple and worship the Lord. Madhyashna, darshana, sparsha, puja, stuti, abhivandanaihi, bhuteshu madbhavanaya, satven asangamena cha. This is the process of devotional service. So Kapila Bhagavan explains the three parts. Three parts of three different bhakti yogas. One is the mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance. This is bhakti yogo bahuvido margaihi bhamini bhavyate swabhava guna marghena pumsam bhav vividyate. According to the nature of the people, the devotional service is three different qualities of the executor. They are in the mode of ignorance, passion, अभिसन्धायो हिंसां धम्बामाश्चर्यमेव वा सम्भ्रमे भिन्नदृग्भावं मयि कुर्यात् सतामसः. By himsam and dhambam, masharyam eva, if one has got abhisandhaya, if he uses his devotional service by violence and pride and greediness, then such kind of devotional service in the satamasaha. And then if one is desiring anything for his particular material enjoyment, fame and opulence, he is in the mode of passion. Vishyan abhisandhaya, by the material desires. Yasha aishwaryam evava, and then with the desires of yasha, famous, and aishwarya, opulences. For that purpose, archayet yomam prudbhavaha sarajasaha. That is in the mode of uh, passion. And then further he explains about the goodness to free from the material entanglement. Karma nirhar mudjasya parasmin va tadarpanam yajed yastavitimiti va pradagbhavaha sasatvikah. So to free from the materialistic activities completely, and one goes to Krishna, then it is that devotion is in the mode of goodness. So there he explains Madhgunasati Matrena Mai Sarva Guhasaye Manogati Ravichinna Yata Gangambaso Ambudau Lakshanam Bhakti Yogasya Dirgunasti Udahrutam Ahaitukya Avhitaya Bhakti Purushottami. So this is Bhakti Purushottami. It attracts one mind is completely absorbed in the form of the Lord. Madhgunasati Matrena, by hearing the qualities of the Lord. Mai Sarva Guhasaye, are keeping all one's heart unto the Lord. Manogati Ravichina, without deviating the heart and mind. Yata Ghangambaso Ambhudau, one's mind flows to the Lord. That is called devotional studies. That is, what are these are the qualities. Lakshanam Bhakti Yogasya. Nirgunasya udahritam, no materialistic things. And one goes to the Lord's form. And he says that devotee salokya sarishti samipya sarupi ekatma apyuta deemanam na gruhnanti vina matsevanam janaha. They do not want any the liberation, the 5 points of liberation. They want to engage in the devotional service. That is their desire. And that is called Saiva Bhakti Yogakya Atyantika Udahritaha. Yen Ativrajya Trigunam Madbhavaya Upadhyate. That is the devotional service. And what is that one? How to perform? Then he says that one. Nishevitena Animitena Swadharmena Mahiyasa. Kriya Yogena Sestena Na Atihimshena Nityashaha. One has to perform his duties, materialistic duties, Swadharma. Nishevitena Animitena Swadharmena Mahiyasa. Perfectly fulfilling his prescribed duties, which are and then without material profit. Kriya Yogena Sestena, na Atihimsera Nityashaha, without excessive violence. One should regularly perform one's devotional activities. So here he explains Madhishna Darshana Sparsha Puja Suti Abhivandanaihi Bhuteshu Madbhavanaya Satpen Asangamen Cha. A devotee should regularly see my statues in the temple, touch my lotus feet, and offer worshipable paraphernalia and prayer. He should see in the spirit of renunciation from the mode of goodness and see everything, see every living entity as spiritual. And then in the temple, what he needs to do? The pure devotee, Mahatam Bahumanena Denanam Anukampaya Maitriyacha Evatmatulyeshu Yemena Niyemena Cham. The pure devotee should execute devotional service by giving the greatest respect to the spiritual master and the acharyas. He should compassionate to the poor and make friendship with the persons who are his equals. But all his activities should be executed under regulation and with control of the senses. So this is the beauty of the temple and devotees. This is Krishna consciousness. We do not go to the secluded places and meditate on the form of the Lord like a yogis do. But we go to the temple and see the form and worship the form and make friendship with the devotees and acharyas and compassionate to the new devotees and give the spiritual knowledge of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam and give Krishna consciousness where it is the. And here further, how it is? Adhyatmik Anushravanad Nama Sankirtanachame Arjavena Arisanghena Niraham Kriyatara. A devotee should always try to hear about spiritual matters and should always utilize his time in chanting the holy name of the Lord. His behavior should always be straightforward and simple. And although he is not envious but friendly to everyone, he should avoid the company of the persons who are not spiritually advanced. Niraham Kriyatada. So this is the Arjavena Arisangena. This is the devotees association. So this is the our Krishna consciousness movement. Previous one is Sankhya philosophy. Here yogi meditate in a secluded place. Both are meditating on the Lord's form. There are further many of these glories of devotional service at the Mataji. That's the difference. And here Prabhupada says, our Krishna consciousness movement is very easy for all the people. It is open for everyone. Everyone can practice this devotion in their home. They do not have to go to the forest and meditate. Staying where they are, they can simply execute by chanting the holy name and offer to the deity's form, either a vigraha, a deity, or a picture, or anything. So we have to worship him, giving Patram Pushpam Palam Toyam Yomi Bhaktya Prayachiti Tadaham Bhakti Upahrutam Asnami Prayatatmanaha. So that way one has to worship. The Lord accepts that devotion very easily. Here we have got a devotees association. This is Krishna consciousness movement.
Yeah. We just have to follow the Prabhupada step, like in steps, whatever he said.
Yes, this is the Prabhupada's mission.
But like still, like if we are like in doing chanting, we cannot like concentrate like something we have seen and on that and while chanting. still happen.
So here while chanting, we
It's
have
like
seen that form.
Mm. So because mind is always go somewhere else, so
Yeah.
we can concentrate something and then we can do chanting possible.
That is true, Mataji. So what happens, if there are hundreds of thoughts coming in the mind, then out of hundreds of thoughts, only 10 words, maybe tens of words only we can speak. Not all the hundreds of thoughts we cannot speak. Only 10 words speak. Out of 10 words we speak, we may perform only one or two activities through the physical body, the physical actions. So when we are engaging in the devotional service, how much we can do there? Either going in the kitchen and serve there, or serve the devotees, cleanse the temple. These are the activities we can do. This would override the override that words. Words would override the mind thoughts. So which is most powerful? Service is the most powerful. Though our mind is going through so many speculations, but still when he chants, those will be nullified. And though he is chanting, and when he does devotional service, then his absorption to the mood of devotional service to the Lord, it will be more intensified because it is by actions of the body, bodily actions. So we do not have to worry about mind has got so many different thoughts or like that. So because you are chanting and you are moving your hand with your right hand thumb, you are moving the beats with that is physical action, and using your mouth to chant, vibrating the tongue. This is the activity. Sound is coming out. This is the words. So they are more powerful than the mind thoughts. We do not have to worry about mind at any point of time. Though there are so many irrelevant thoughts are coming, not to worry about it. Just keep chanting on the beats and engage ourselves in the devotional activities, devotional service in the temple or in whatever the way we can do.
Mhm. Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Mataji.
Like today I'm going to help in the kitchen, so that is also come. Yes.
Yes, Mataji. That is a beautiful service.
Yeah.
Yes. You are giving your time, your bodily strength. Pranaihi addaihi diya vacha shreya acharanam sada. Krishna says one has to engage all his this. Etavad janma sapalyam dehesh iha dehinam. Pranaihi addaihi diya vacha shreya acharanam sada.
Mm.
Very good. Thank you so much, Mataji, for sharing that. Engaging in the devotional service is very, very important. Any other additions and questions, dear devotees? Okay, if there are no questions and additions, so now we are couple of minutes past 8. So we shall conclude our session and continue next week. So this is the beauty of the Lord. So dear devotees, kindly absorb yourself in the form of the Lord. So if you are having Krishna form, Venum Punantam Arvinda Dalayataksam Varavatam Samasitam Buddha Sundarangam Kandarpakotikamaneya Vishesha Shobham Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. That is Adipurusham. One has to meditate on the Adipurusha, Krishna, the two-handed form. That is our scriptures mentions from the Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Brahma Samhita. These are the basics, and all of the scriptures are the supplementary literature. So one has to call the Lord like the Gajendra when he is in the distress. Adi Purusha, Akilokanada, Tiddashravaha, Shravana Mangala, Namadheya, with these names. And then the Lord will hear our arti, our call, and then he will reveal himself to us. Okay, so that is from Srimad Bhagavatam and the description of Vaikunta. So Lord is so beautiful in his planet in the Vaikunta, but still he is in the heart of all the living entities. He sees every activity, every thought, every word what we speak and we do, we think.
Prabhu, Hare Krishna, Prabhu. I have one question, Prabhu, in my mind. We have seen, like Lord Shiva, he always meditate on. We used to hear when we were on Ramchandra, and Ramchandra also meditate. Um, and Vishnu also we have seen in meditative posture. Um, how about Krishna, Prabhu? We haven't seen any photo or any picture
Yes.
of Krishna meditating upon anything.
That's right, Mataji. Whatever you said, that is exactly right. So Krishna doesn't meditate. He enjoys with his all Radharani and gopis and with his gopi gopal companions in the Golokuranda. When he appears, he always does enjoying. He is the that's why Purusha is the enjoyer. Adi Purusha. He is the original enjoyer. And everyone meditate. And Lord Shankara, he says to Mother Parvati that Sattvam Vishuddham Vasudeva Sirjitam Vidite Tatra Puman Apavrutaha Sattvechi Tasmin Bhagavan Vasudevo Hedokshomi Namasa Vidhiyate. I offer my humble obeisances in my Sattvam Vishuddham Vasudeva Sirjitam in the pure consciousness to that Supreme Personality of Godhead. And here, Mahavishnu, Karnodak Sai Vishnu, Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu, and Kshetradak Sai Vishnu, they are in the Yoga Nidra. They are in the Yoga Nidra. So, Yoga Nidra means it is not that they wanted to, they're worshipping different demigod. Here, Vishnus are meditating on his devotees. Vishnus are meditating on their devotees. That is Yoga Nidra. साधो हृदयं मह्यं साधूनां हृदयं त्वहं मदन्यन्ते न जानन्ति नाहं तेभ्यो मनागपि. I am in the heart of my devotees. Devotees are in my heart. I do not know anyone except my devotees. My devotees do not know except me. This is the Lord's statement to Durvasa Muni. So this is the Vishnus. They are all in the Yoga Nidra. They are meditating on his devotees, and devotees meditate on them. But here, Krishna, when it comes to Krishna, he is the enjoyer. That is, Venum Kwanantam Aravinda Dalayataksham, having the flute and having rather, he doesn't deal with all this. This is Krishna clearly says in the Bhagavad Gita when he was speaking, Vishtabhyaham idam Krishnam ekam shena sito jagat अथवा बहुनैतेन किं ज्ञातेन तव किं तवार्जुन विष्टभ्याहम इदं कृष्णम एकांशेन सितो जगत. My one amsha is, who is that one amsha? Is the Karnodaksai Vishnu, who is the source of all this material glands and creation, everything from whose body. Though they are but indirectly source of all the material creations. Who are they? Karnodaksai Vishnu, Garbhodaksai Vishnu, Kshirodaksai Vishnu. Though they are separate from the material energy. But Krishna, even he is not even directly come in contact with them, even indirectly also. That is Krishna's position. In the Brahma Samhita, Lord Brahma says that he never come in contact. But here, Vishnu, somewhere or other, by their glands, they are engaged in the somewhere other, indirectly with the material world through their internal potency. So wherever we see, Krishna is always enjoying with his Radharani and Gopis and Gopals everywhere. And Prabhupada mentioning one of the German person, he was going to different pilgrimage in different temples, and there every demigod having some weapons and doing some meditation and having some weapons, trying to do some activity like that. But when he comes to Vrindavan, see that Krishna, then here he has admitted that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, saying that Supreme Personality of Godhead means he is the enjoyer. Sat Chit Ananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govindaha Sarva Karana Karanam. He is the enjoyer. He doesn't have any duty to perform. Name karma parespraha. I do not have anything to deal with this material world. That is Krishna's statement. So he is the enjoyer. That way, Prabhupada was explaining to us. And we see it through the scriptures, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Brahma Samhita, and Brahma Vaivatta Purana. Brahma Vaivatta means variegatedness. And Brahma, the spirit, complete pure spirit, variegated, how it has variegated differently, how the creation has come, Brahma Vaivarta Mahapurana, and how that is Krishna. Krishna is the complete pure spirit, how he has created the spiritual world and material world that we see from the Brahma Vaivarta Purana, which supports the Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and Brahma Samhita. That is, we can understand in more detail. But there are other Puranas as well. But some of the Puranas, they are for the people in the mode of ignorance, for the people in the mode of passion, and for the people in the mode of goodness. So Srimad Bhagavatam is the Amal Puranam. Paramo Nirmatsaranam Sadam. People are the Paramo Nirmatsaranam, completely freed. It is for the uh, uh, who are freed from the conditions of this material world. But still, if who are desiring to free up, who are desiring to liberate themselves, they can take the shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam. Otherwise, this is Bhagavatam. It is for the pure devotees of the Lord who are already liberated. So they are giving information about Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. And Prabhu, so Lord Shiva, Ishwar Shiva, whom upon he meditates then? Is it Ram, Sri Ram? That's what we used to hear from the stories when we were young.
So here we practically see in the historical point of view, when it comes to Krishna and Lord Shankara's fight. Have you heard that, Mataji?
Yeah. Yes, I heard that story about when Krishna's son was captivated and in Swargaloka, I think, and then his devotee, Krishna's Lord Shiva's devotee, asked help from Lord Shiva, and then Shiva was fighting with Krishna from his devotee side. Oh, he was Asura, or I don't remember that.
Yes, Mataji. So here, so Lord Shiva, he prays to Krishna in his prayers. So Krishna defeats even Lord Shankara in that fight. So Banasura's daughter is the Usha. Krishna's grandchild is Aniruddha. And when Banasura captured Aniruddha at that time, Banasura is the devotee of Lord Shiva. And Banasura asked Lord Shiva to fight on behalf of him to defeat his enemies. So Krishna defeated Lord Shiva. There are very beautiful pastime that we are seeing here in the screen. And then after Shiva was defeated, Shiva prays to Krishna. So here in his prayers, he says that I am your ego. See, while I am your ego, the ocean is your abdomen. So this is the prayers of Shri Rudra said to Krishna. You are the absolute truth, the supreme light, the mystery hidden within the verbal manifestation of the absolute. Those whose hearts are spotless can see you, for you are uncontaminated like the sky. Sky is your navel, your face, water your semen, and heaven your head, and cardinal directions are your sense of hearing, herbal plants like the hairs on your body, and water bearing clouds, the hair on your head. The earth is your foot, the moon your mind, and the sun your vision, while I am your ego. So here he says that Lord Shiva, I am your ego. So this is the form of Purusha. Purusha Sukta. In the Purusha Sukta, it is mentioned when the Virat Rupa form, all the demigods are getting created. Brahma came from the intelligence, Lord Shiva from the ego, and Moon from the mind of the Virat Rupa. So here, Lord Shiva is praying to Krishna in such a way, but Krishna is beyond the that Virat Rupa. So Lord Shiva, he is always worshipping Vasudeva. Sattvam Vishuddham Vasudeva Siddhitam. Vasudeva Siddhitam. Yedete Tatra Puman Apavritah. Sattvechi Tasmin Bhagavan Vasudevo. That is what Lord Shiva mentioned to Sati Devi, that he is meditating on the तत्सत्त्वे च तस्मिन् भगवान् वासुदेवो. He is meditating on that Vasudeva. Hedokchajomi namasa vidiyate. He offers his worship, his respects to that Lord. Namasa vidiyate. So there is namasa and manasa. There are two words. Namasa is the offering obeisances. Manasa is the Lord will be revealing to himself. So there are two words, but the same word is used. The one word is used as manasa and another word is namasa in two different places. One in the Bhagavatam, it is namasa. So Lord Shiva offers his obeisances to Vasudeva in the meditation that we see. And then in somewhere else, when the same verse is quoted somewhere else, it was used as a manasa vidiyate. So the Lord will reveal himself unto me when I meditate. That is Bhagavan Vasudeva. But both are coming to the rooting to only Vasudeva. That is what Lord Shiva says personally to Sati Devi.
Yeah, okay, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu.
This we see as a part of history.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Any other questions and additions? Okay, so if there are any questions and additions, we shall conclude our session. Thank you so much for hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, all glories of Shri Krishna. So with this one, so we conclude and continue with further japa. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनन्तकोटिवैष्णववृन्द
की जय।
शिल प्रभुपाद की
की
जय।
जय।
Have a Krishna conscious day, everyone.
हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि